In Maryland, there are 230,000 white-tailed deer, according to the state's Department of Natural Resources. Many roam suburban neighborhoods, and their presence is not always welcome. Maggi Gallagher, for one, lets bow hunters on her land to control the deer numbers.
You can't plant anything they like to eat unless it's fenced. There's a constant risk of hitting deer with your vehicle. The biggest problem is probably the transmission of Lyme's disease.
An even bigger problem could be that whitetails in the US and Canada are carrying the novel coronavirus, though Gallagher is not worried.
There's just not enough information.
But while the deer themselves don't seem to be getting very sick, they could pose a risk to humans.
If the SARS-CoV-2 virus is able to become established in another reservoir besides humans, then we have to consider the fact that the virus could continue to persist, evolve. It complicates our long-term control plans.
How did the deer become infected in the first place? So far, there are just theories.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a direct interaction between a human and a deer, but it could be through environment or other inanimate objects. And we also know that the virus in the environment can persist for a certain period of time. It doesn't die immediately.
Hunters who spend long hours in the field are being reminded by the World Organization for Animal Health to avoid leaving any human waste or objects that may be ingested or touched by deer. Epidemiologists are also encouraging hunters to wear gloves when dressing their kill and to cook the meat thoroughly.
Hunters play a key role in wildlife conservation in the U.S. Today, more than ever, it is important that they get vaccinated to protect themselves, their families, and the herds of deer.
One who got the jab is wildlife biologist C.J. Winand, who has been bow hunting for 50 years. He said it should be by choice.
Vaccination mandates for hunters probably would not go over very well. In relationship to wearing masks, we basically already do. We wear a camouflage mask. Although it may not be medically approved, I'm sure it does help.
The U.S. Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service has begun a multi-year project to measure how widespread the virus is in white-tailed deer and the risk to other animals and humans. For now, Winand isn't sure that deer pose a risk, but he's concerned.
It would be devastating if it did jump species barriers. Hunting would be obsolete. We're going to have a proliferation of deer. And what will happen then? The habitat will degrade to basically nothing. They'll have zero to eat, and we'll have a massive die-off.
As scientists in several states continue testing white-tailed deer for COVID, they say keeping wildlife at a safe distance is the best bet. Veronica Balderas Iglesias for VOA News, Ellicott City, Maryland.